Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome as we are 1 second. I'm just gonna press the Instagram. Welcome, 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 everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Just make sure I see everybody. Hello, welcome Instagram, welcome Facebook. Welcome to today's session. We are continuing our discussion this whole week on Neurographica as an amazing, powerful, a very effective tool within a coaching, within a therapeutic, any kind of integrative practice, okay? Hi, Amy, it's so nice to see you. I'm glad you found me. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, today we have something very interesting. Today I'm discussing with you clients, okay? Again, those of you on Facebook, you will get the privilege of seeing the presentation. On Instagram, what can I tell you? Tell Instagram to start putting in an ability to put presentations in. You're welcome to watch this either on Facebook now, or you can watch it afterwards on YouTube in a few hours, okay? So let's see what we're going to discuss today. Today we're going to discuss, here it is, okay. I'm going to talk to you about what do we do, what do we, you know, how do we see clients in Neurographica coaching sessions? How do we differentiate? There are different types of clients. How do we, we're not going to go into specifics of how to work with clients. Maybe something, again, you guys going to see the kind of a model, not fully, but somewhat of a model on Monday when I do the open drawing of the NeuroTree. Today, again, we will have more of a discussion. Let's discuss clients in a Neurographica coaching session. What is it all about? Okay. The first thing I would like to bring here is that when we discuss client, this is directly related to the fact that in Neurographica, whenever, especially in the specialist course, right? Once you become a specialist, once you receive the specialist certification, you will be able to work with clients. So in order to get those rights, in order to receive that permission, so certification, we need to complete, you can see here what we need to do to complete to receive the certification. You submit the 6 pictures for all the algorithms, 6 main algorithms. I'm going to talk about more of them today, actually going through each one of them. You have to draw the picture, do the description. There is a specialist test that's based upon the content of the information that I give you during the sessions. You have to sign an agreement. And the last part is the most, I would say the most integral part because it takes the most amount of time. The last part is completing the case studies. What is this all about? This is the most important part. This is what most of the time people pay attention to, okay? Case studies, okay? Case studies, as we discuss them in the Neurographica session, specifically in the specialist course, we refer to 3 types of case studies, okay? Each case study has to comprise of at least 4 sessions. Maximum, you can do 6 sessions. Again, this is for certification. If it's not for certification, it's just for your practice, guys. There is sky's the limit. I would say 4, 6, maybe some people do 8 sessions. Okay, it really depends on the topic. It really depends on how many sessions does your client able to kind of invest themselves in. I personally know coaches who actually even sell yearly coaching passes, right? Like Pavel Piskarev himself, I don't know if he does it now, but back when I was learning with him in 2018, I remember he was telling a story how his coaching services would consist of yearly passes, right? He would sell coaching services with a certain, most of the time it was more like, you know, like a business or a corporation, and he would consult them on a yearly basis. Again, really depends on the client. It really depends on the topic. That's something very individual. For the case studies here, most of the time, okay, based upon research, 4 sessions is good to kind of touch upon the subject, the topic, the goal in mind, then open it up a little bit, work with it fully, and then complete it. Okay, 4 sessions is more or less is enough. Sometimes people, sometimes clients need 5 sessions, sometimes 6 sessions. Okay, just for you to have this idea. But for the case studies, in order for you to qualify to receive the certification, you have to complete 3 case studies, and each case study should be at least 4 sessions, maximum 6. It should not be ever more than 6, because we want you to be able to start understanding how case studies are comprised. Now, 3 types of case study, okay? You take the specialist course, you become familiar with all 6 of the algorithms, right? 4 of the algorithms I am going to teach you in person, and 2 of the algorithms, the NeuroRain and NeuroLotus, you receive in recording. They're fairly simpler algorithms that you can, you can learn from recording. Again, sometimes I might, for this cohort, I was planning to give it last cohort, I didn't have a chance to. This cohort, I am planning to give a live NeuroRain and NeuroLotus sessions, where I'm actually going to go deeper, where I will talk more about, again, I will actually go into the metaphors of the NeuroLotus, of the NeuroRain, the metaphor of the rain, the metaphor of the lotus, of the flower, lots and lots of metaphors. That is something I personally enjoy studying, maybe, and that's what I like to bring into this course, like an addition, like a complementary sessions, okay? Now, 3 types of case studies we have. After you learn the algorithms, you learn how to draw them, the first step, usually that's what everybody does, is self-coaching. You take the algorithms, you take a goal. What is a case study? You take one topic, okay? And you kind of go with this topic. You kind of, like observe how this topic changes, how you change in relation to this topic, how the topic kind of transforms, integrates itself differently. You see different aspects of the same topic within your life. And that's what you do throughout the 4 sessions, okay? Now, when we talk about sessions, how do you have a session with yourself? Of course, that means you're sitting down and you're drawing. But remember, Neurographica is by creation. The way Neurographica was created, it's a coaching tool. Remember, the reflection process, which is a process of how, what our thoughts are, what are our emotions, what kind of body reactions do we experience? And of course, we have a deeper reflection. It's a built-in tool that we learn as soon as we take the basics course. As soon as you take the basics course, this 4 aspects is what you are learning. This 4 aspects is what you are learning to pay attention, to implement, to practice constantly within your neurographic practice. So when you do the self-coaching, when you have at least 4 sessions, what do? You're going to draw the algorithms of the, 1 second, my Facebook froze, 1 second. You're going to draw the algorithms of the specialist course, okay? And you will be paying attention. Choose one topic, find a topic that you will find the most mesmerizing, the most interesting in, and start paying attention. Hi, Amy, now I see your comment, yes. And start paying attention, what is happening with you, okay? Start realizing, paying attention to all the aspects. At the end, remember how 7 steps of the algorithm, the first step is always topic 1.0. The 7th step is always topic 2.0. You're looking at your topic from a different aspect. Now that you did the session, now that you have some transformation that you're working through, you're looking at the topic again. Next time, and this is the best part, do this practice, okay, guys? You can do this practice. You guys have almost a bit less than a week, right? 6 days till specialist. Why don't you do a challenge for yourself, okay? Let's say you're a basics student, right? And you want to see how the case study works. You want to understand it. Just take case study, 4 sessions, okay? prepare yourself, say 4 days out of 6. I'm going to sit down and draw, let's say an ARL. Okay, we usually do this during the 21 days challenge. I'm planning to initiate it in February. As soon as we finish the specialist, everybody are invited to join. The practice would be complementary for the basics and the specialist students, because it's a great way, again, to integrate, to apply all the skills you have received within this, this 21-day challenge, okay? Learning how to integrate your skills, learning to practice neurographic on an everyday basis. So try the self-coaching for yourself, right? The whole basics course is really a self-coaching course. What you're learning, you get self-coaching tools. Check yourself, give yourself 4 days, take one topic and see how it works. It's really quite mesmerizing to kind of observe yourself, right? Take a topic, let's say my topic could be buying a house or anything. I'm usually taking a topic that's very general, right? Take a topic that would be buying a house. What are you going to do? You're going to take this topic, and the first step will be figuring out, it's a general topic. What do you mean by buying a house? What does buying a house means to you? You're going to go through this. I would definitely suggest to draw the ARL algorithm, which is the algorithm for removing limitations. And by the way, one of the reasons why we initiated that it should be at least 4 sessions, but it could be a maximum of 6, is because with each topic, guys, any topic you have, the first session is always recommended to start with the ARL, algorithm for removing limitations, okay? Remove the limitations that are within you. Kind of transform them. You cannot fully remove everything, but you do transform, and the limitations kind of go away. You turn them into something else, you transform them. Only then, any topic you start, the second session, you can choose an algorithm. We're going to discuss this further today, which algorithm you choose according to the needs of the client. Take the self-coaching, try that, figure it out. Start with one topic, and then you finish with step 7, topic 2.0. The next day, right? Let's say you are a basic student, so you know ARL and ARI. Try another ARL, try the ARL Express, try the ARL Shapes, but definitely, and take the topic 2.0 from the previous day. Okay, again, don't choose a new topic. Kind of, again, observe yourself. You will discover something truly amazing, and this is the purpose of why this is a requirement for the specialist course, for the specialist certification. You will discover the depthness, you will discover different aspects, you will discover that even, you finished with topic 2.0, the next day you will see a different aspect, you will start thinking differently about this topic. And this way, dwelling, you're going to dwell further and further, deeper and deeper inside your topic. This topic will open up for you in a completely different aspect, in a completely different light. It's a great and amazing exercise to absolutely practice, okay? I recommend this not just for the specialist students. For the specialist student, this is mandatory. For everybody else, it's just a huge recommendation because it really works wonders, okay? So the first step you do self-coaching. 4 sessions with the same topic. You can take 5 sessions, okay? The next step you start working with something we call warm clients. Who are warm clients? Warm clients are people who are familiar with Neurographica. This could be people who know how to draw Neurographica. This could be people who know how to draw the neuroline, who know how to do the rounding, okay? It can be at least somebody who just knows how to do the rounding and the neuroline, as high as your colleagues in the specialist course, people who graduate the specialist. I promise you, anybody would be happy to, and that's what I always recommend to each cohort, just write it in the group. Anybody like to work with me? I'm looking for a warm client. People would love to work with you. People would love to see to work on their issues, on their topics, and have somebody else work with them. Okay, this is a great opportunity, to get to know your colleagues, get to know their practice, get to know how they are doing their specialist course, how they're doing their case studies. I have two amazing students, truly amazing students. It's so funny. They were from different cohorts. And because we're all friends on Facebook, I see how they became friends. They started doing coaching cases with each other. Then they became like best friends, and they work with each other. They support each other. It was so, and I want to tell you, even submitting, even though they were from different cohorts, right? Submitting the case studies, they did it so close to each other. I saw how they worked with each other, right? One would post the pictures of working with one, the other one would post a picture of working with the other. They worked with each other. They became good friends. It was so beautiful to see that, they became friends based on neurographic practice and neurographic method, based on doing case studies with each other, right? Coaching each other, and now they're like really good friends. I constantly see them supporting each other. It's such an amazing way to, again, form, personal friendly relationship with somebody. And again, form work relationships, like getting to know your colleagues, seeing how their practice goes, exchange of information, exchange of practice. Great way to do this. Again, so warm clients, again, you can post it in your basics group. If you are in my, if you ever want to do the basics course with me, I tell them, you guys are welcome to post it in the group and say, I'm looking for warm clients. I promise you, people would love to come to you, because people are interested in again, seeing how the practice works. A, by being a coach, or B, being a coachee, which means a client, okay? The third types of client we have are called cold clients. Who are cold clients? Cold clients are clients who have never heard about Neurographica. They have no idea what you're talking about. They have no idea what Neurographica is. And maybe they might, they may have seen maybe Neurographica, like a picture. Maybe a lot of times, a lot of my specialist students, how do they get clients? They post Neurographica pictures, and people ask them, wow, this is great. How can I do this? And they can write, they say, oh, would you like to be my client? I can do a coaching session with you. A lot of people are quite interested in that. A lot of people say, yes, I would like to try this. How does it work? When I actually became the specialist trainer, I had to do, are you ready? 40 cases, okay, yes. 40 cases is a requirement, one of the requirements, and many other requirements. You have to do 2 years of supervision and lots and lots of interesting stuff. So I did 40 cases. And one of the ways I did cases, I actually went into a coaching group, and I offered the coaching services to try this new amazing method of Neurographic. And I had a lot of coaches who would come to me who were interested, who wanted either A, to work on their topic, on their goal, or B, actually, what is this? This was, guys, like 3 years ago. Okay, Neurographic in English was like not known. My video was the only video about Neurographica. The video that's like has the most amount of views now. It says, Neurographica elements and explanation. I don't remember the name of it, but you will find it. It's the very first video if you go from 3-4 years ago on my YouTube channel. And that's the most interesting part, right? People would come to me and I would explain to them, I would show them how to draw, and they would be like, wow, mesmerized. And then I would explain the metaphors to them. This was very interesting. Like, some people became interested and they were asking me, how did they learn, right? And I would invite them for the basics course and everything else. It was such an interesting experience, okay? Again, number one, you observe yourself, right? How you go from one aspect of the same topic, and 4 sessions later, you notice how this topic has evolved into something completely different and something completely deep, something that's so close and dear to you. You're really getting to know this part of who you are. With warm clients, you see how your colleagues are developing. You see how Neurographica is enveloping in front of you, right? How you use Neurographica, and it allows the person, again, colleague, somebody who's familiar with the neurographic, maybe even studying the Neurographica method in depth, right? Either a basics or a specialist or one of the advanced students, somebody who took a lot of algorithms. And then there is the cold clients, right? Who don't know anything. And for them, you do the sessions completely different. Remember how I said for yourself and for the warm clients, the very first session, whatever the topic you choose, you should always, it's highly recommended to always start with the ARL. Now, ARL is a very intensive algorithm. I personally, in my basics, I actually, I do the ARLs in a very, in a very deep way. So for the cold clients, most of the time, I do not recommend starting with the ARL because there's a lot of nuances, right? You have to show how to do the rounding, you have to show how to do the neural lines, and it takes a long time. And it's not easy, right? Because no client wants to stay further. The most highest amount of time that the client would spend would be an hour and a half. 2 hours. I had a session 2 hours, and it was really draining both for the client and for the coach. So an hour to an hour and 15 minutes is my coaching session set, but an hour and a half is the highest I recommend. So within an hour and a half, you don't have that much time to show how to do the rounding, to explain a little bit about the method, to show how to do the neural line, and to do the session, focus on the goal and help go through all the 7 steps or as close as possible. So for the cold clients, my high recommendation is always start with something very, very simple, okay? Start with ARI, Algorithm for Revealing Intention. Start with neural lines. Allow them to feel the neural line, the depths, the mysticism, so to say, but also the resemblance to the neural pathways. Allow them to feel this energy of the neural lines. Start to follow that, right? For the first session, I also suggest actually going through the simplest part, okay? We have three, give me a second. Transfer this here just to be able to explain things to you, okay? In Neurographica, we have 3 simpler algorithms. We all know they're not as simple as it seems. You guys can see yesterday, some of you were at the session, you saw how many metaphors I told you about the tree, okay? You noticed, you can read my post, I've been posting a lot of metaphors about the tree explanations for this past week. Lots and lots of important metaphors, but from a graphical point of view, to draw, for somebody who has never heard about Neurographic and never tried the neural lines, drawing the neurotree is a variation on the ARI, by the way, right? It's a variation on taking a piece of paper and just drawing the neural lines. In the ARI, usually people draw the neural lines more horizontally, although in my ARI, I make sure I tell people, draw the ARI from any direction to any direction, okay? It doesn't have to be from left to right. It can be from up to down, down to up, diagonal. In the neurotree, this is a vertical growth, okay? We always start at the bottom. We always start from the roots, remember. We always start from the bottom and then go ahead, then we bring the neural line up. This is a great way for people to get to know what neural line is, to get to practice the neural lines, to get to understand the metaphor of the tree. You start telling people what the roots are all about, why we start with the roots. Again, connecting people to the metaphor and bringing them. And you always, of course, focus them on their goals. Again, they will start opening up. They will start seeing their topic, their goal from a different aspect. Okay, just telling the people, let's say the metaphor of the tree as the roots are the past, the trunk is the present, and the branches and the fruits are your future, the goal, the resources. I remember when I just first did the tree, I love the tree, that, like I mentioned before, my favorite algorithm. most amount of work that I did in Neurographica would be on the tree. Maybe like, I don't know, 20, 30% of my work. But the interesting part is that I remember in the beginning just focusing on that metaphorical interpretation truly helped me understand so many things about so many aspects of whatever goal it is that I chose, right? And it was so interesting. Again, it brings your client to a different realm. Even, like I said before, even if you take people, like I worked with coaches, different types of coaches, some of them were business coaches, some of them were life coaches, they each had their mission, they each had their product, their consultation. When I would show them Neurographica, they would be like, wow. Especially when I did the Neurotree with them, they would be quite mesmerized. It would be like, wow, this is so interesting. Okay. Again, what else would be a simple way to start the Neurographica session with your client? If your client is an artist, okay, a lot of my students, both basics and specialists, are artists, and they love the neurographic method and they enjoy seeing it, and they actually want to learn in order to integrate the neuro elements into the neuro art, right? But again, in order to receive the specialist, they need to go through the specialist cases. So when I get clients who are artists and they're just getting to know Neurographica, they're kind of newbies, right? They're new. What I usually invite them to draw, and they love it, it's a Neuro Lotus. Okay, Neuro Lotus is such an amazing, again, maybe I'm going to continue the Neurographic and coaching series. So we're going to go through each of the algorithms. I'm going to make sure I devote my time to that. And I will discuss with you the amazing metaphorical interpretations of the Neuro Lotus, the layers of the lotus flower, how we grow, what does it mean? So many amazing, amazing parts to it. The Neuro Lotus, the artist people, right? People who are more artistic, people who come to Neurographic to see the beauty, they really relate to the Neuro Lotus, to the Neuro Lotus algorithm. Neuro Rain can be somewhat of a simpler. Not everybody gets the Neuro Rain because again, Neuro Rain has a lot of metaphors to it. The way Pavel Piscario brings it, the way Pavel teaches it, he brings a lot of shamanic associations with it. The asking for the rain. Like to me personally, I remember it brings this association with like African, drums, people drumming in a shamanic circle to bring the rain. Or we really know it's more than just the rain. It's about the blessing for whatever the topic you have. I bring more biblical associations, right? Not just shamanic. I bring a lot of Kabbalistic associations, a lot of associations, from integrative practices where I explain what rain is. So again, tons and tons of metaphoric association also, at least the way I teach it. I've seen people teach the Neuro Rain very simple way. And that's what you can do based on your client, guys. If you have a client who's, let's say who's a yoga teacher, who's a therapist, based on the client, you can see, are they open to metaphoric interpretations or they want something simple? I've seen people, instructors teaching the Neuro Rain in a very simple way. Take the soil, put your seeds in, bring down the rain, grow your seeds. Plain and simple, right? Again, what do you want? The way I bring the Neuro Rain, I bring a lot of metaphoric association. They're important. The more you understand, the more it will. But again, the way I teach mostly people who are studying to become specialists. So maybe that's one of the reasons, because I'm yearning to give them as much knowledge as possible. Why? For this specific reason. So they're equipped with knowledge so that if they do have somebody who's a colleague, who's a therapist, and they start asking, what is a metaphor? Where is this interpretation comes from? The people, my students are able to answer and say, this means this and that. Why do we draw the clouds? Why do we draw the rain? Why do we draw what is a metaphor? There's so much metaphor in there. There's so many, associations, interpretations, again, connection. So important that each client connects to their drawing. That's the important part. And that's what I explain at the specialist course when I teach it, how to get your clients to connect to your session, to connect to what you're showing them, to connect to the drawing, to connect to what, you're trying to get them to do, right? Because again, Neurographic is such a new method. The ability to fully understand the fact that the bottom circles are the seeds, right? The horizontal line on the bottom is the soil level. The shapes on top are the symbols of the cloud, and the vertical lines are the lines of the rain. And of course, some vertical lines correspond to the growth connection. Not everybody will be able to understand it, right? Because this is such a new way to interpret any topic, right? Taking a topic and growing it, not everybody understands. So it's so important as a specialist for you to be equipped with enough knowledge to go and use this knowledge with your students, okay? Now, another very simple algorithm, I'll be honest with you, this was the algorithm that I usually use, unless the person specifically tells me, I saw that picture of the tree, can I do that with you? I always start this session with the core clients with the TRUE algorithm. So simple, right? TRUE stands for topic, resources, U stands for unlock, and E stands for equalizer, okay? Nothing complicated. We have shapes, we have neural lines, we connect them. Of course, there is a whole algorithm that I go step by step. There is depth. And remember, TRUE is a coaching algorithm, okay? TRUE was invented by Pavel Piskaryov's good friend and colleague. His name is Sergei Shipilov. He has experience in coaching for the past 25 years. He's one of the first coaches when that coaching field was first developed. When Pavel invited him to learn Neurographica and he showed him the way Neurographic works, he initiated. He said, look, I have this amazing idea. I have this amazing personal coaching system called TRUE. And I see how this can be fully developed with the Neurographic method. And he brought this method to Pavel, and Pavel loved it. He included it. This is a mandatory part of the specialist course. And it truly is a great coaching method. It is a true coaching method, but it's so simple. Okay, it's very simple. It's very easy for anybody. Anybody can draw the shapes, anybody can learn. The neural line is not so hard to learn how to do. So it's simple. It's very suffice. People love it. It's easy. People, you tell them, why don't you color your shape? Focus on it. Basically, people enjoy it. People love it, and it works. Okay, this is the most important part. Let's go through the other two algorithms that I haven't discussed yet. The next algorithm is SCORE. SCORE stands for symptoms, cause, outcomes, resources, and effects. Acronym of SCORE is symptoms, cause, outcomes, resources, and effects, okay? SCORE is a known coaching model, okay? Wasn't invented by Pavel's colleague. SCORE is actually a professional coaching model. It was one of the first coaching model developed. It was developed actually by the inventor of the, it was invented by Robert Dultz, who is the father of the coaching field, right? And it was invented back in the 80s, actually. So it's 40 years almost, right? Yeah. So what Pavel did actually, he took the specialist, he took the SCORE model, and he, one second, here it is. He put it into the Neurographica term, okay? Great. Again, amazing model. It's very, very comprehensive. I do not ever recommend using the SCORE at the first session with the new case studies, even if it's a warm client, even if it is yourself, okay? It's an amazing comprehensive model. It's a great way to work with something really, truly complicated topic. I personally developed a whole, I have a trauma release through Neurographic method workshop that's available to anybody as long as if you have your basic certification, you can own it. I have a lot of people who are therapists and they buy that method because they want to see how they can use Neurographic within their coaching session. And this specifically is trauma release because they see a lot of clients come. SCORE is not an easy, but it's extremely comprehensive. Okay, I love SCORE. When I teach SCORE, I tell my students, get ready. This algorithm will change, truly transform. It's a deep transformation, but it will take time. Okay, so I always tell them, make sure when you talk to when you do the SCORE, it should be either the third or the fourth session. I would recommend third, okay, even if it's a warm client. Second or third session. The fourth session should always be something simpler, something you can close. I'm going to talk more about it tomorrow also, right? I'm going to tell you how to best match which algorithm goes with which client. But in general, the classification of all the algorithm I just gave you, the last algorithm we're going to discuss today is called quality of life. An amazing, amazing algorithm. I love quality of life. It's very, it's about, first of all, quality of life is similar to the tree because it's a vertical growth. Okay, we start by, one of the ways we start is drawing neural lines vertically from the bottom to the top. Okay, from the bottom to the top is how we draw the quality of life. It's a growth algorithm, vertical growth. Okay, you start on the bottom, then you start growing. You see circles here, you see the neural lines. It's absolutely magnifying. It's about growing your, I don't want to say influence, although nowadays, right, it's such a popular, right, word, right? We're all about influencing. We're all about influencers. We're all about having an influence on somebody, having people follow us because we're influencing them, right? This algorithm would be great. I'm thinking for like a social media based session, right? If a person wants to gain recognition, if a person wants to bring attention to their business, to their individuality, to their personal achievement, quality of life is an amazing, amazing way, amazing algorithm to use on such topic, I'm thinking, can you use a quality of life in the first session? You can, but again, because it has to do with social aspects of who a person is, I wouldn't recommend it. I would definitely recommend to use this maybe the second session, maybe second or third, okay? You can actually use this at the fourth session. It would be a great completing the case algorithm, okay? Because it allows you to kind of fix it, remember how it's step 6 in the in the Neurographica, we're fixing, we are helping us refocus, after we do all the steps, we do the transformation of the topic. The 6th step is so what am I really wanting? How am I reaffirming my desire to the universe, to God? That's what the fixing shake is about. Refocusing, restating your prayer, right? Restating your desire. I want this, right? If you started your, let's say, session with the topic, I want to buy a house, by step 6, you figure out and you're like, no, I want to buy a house by the sea, or I want to buy a house by the forest, or I want to buy a house in the city, or I don't want a house, but I definitely want a condo. I want an apartment. I don't want to live in the house. I know people who don't want to live in the house. People who want to live in an apartment. Hey, I live in an apartment. I enjoy it. enjoy the fact that I'm in a building. Yes, I do have the need, like what I'm talking about now. And now, for the last few months, I started observing, I have a need to buy a house. And I'm trying to figure out what it's all about. Why? I'm not rushing to do it. But I know so many people that they did not buy a house, they bought a condo. And it's important to understand those little tiny aspects. It's important to start understanding, what do you really want? Okay, and that's what the fixing part is, kind of reaffirming what you really want to achieve. Quality of life is an amazing way to do this 4 session. Okay, the first session I would not recommend it. I would definitely recommend it. Session 2, 3, and even 4. Okay. Talking about session 4. Again, certain algorithms would be the best for session 4 because again, session 4 is like the ending of your case. It's like reaffirming. It's like step 6, the fixing. What do I really want? How do I really feel about this topic? Quality of life, amazing algorithm to use for session 4. Not score. Do not use score for session 4 because score is an intermediary algorithm. Also true, I think is great for like the first session, second session, because it's a great initiating, opening up your topic, figuring out, going deeper in and thinking, what is it that you want to achieve? Okay. What do I recommend? I recommend definitely quality of life. I definitely recommend NeuroTree is a great way to do the ending session for your case studies. NeuroRain, I'm thinking NeuroRain would be good. Either, I don't know. I know some people like to use a NeuroRain for the beginning, but I would recommend NeuroRain. Well, you can use it for either first session or the intermediate, the middle sessions. I would not recommend it for the ending. I would recommend the NeuroLotus. I think it's an amazing way, again, to see. It's like a great last session in the case study because you start, when you draw the seed, you start remembering how you started your topic. It was a little seed, and you will be quite astonished for you to discover how your topic has grown, right? As a result of the case study, right? As a result of being in few sessions. And that's what NeuroLotus is, since it's a layered drawing, it's a great way for you to kind of create the plans. Right now that you finished the case study, what are your next plan? Now that you figured out your topic, what it's about, what you really want, how do you go about implementing it? Steps 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and so on and so forth. With each layer, you can create a step that will take you further. You can create a yearly plan about what you're planning to do. What are the steps you're planning to take in order to achieve your goal? It can be in less than a year, whatever the goal in a timely fashion, right? If you ever watch the goal session, I have a session that focuses how to formulate a topic. And over there, I discuss how it's very important to set a time. Time is important to put inside your topic. You don't just say, I want to buy a house. If you don't give yourself a time, it's going to be like, okay, so you'll buy a house eventually. Maybe if you want to buy a house and you want to do it soon, give yourself some time frame, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever the time you find to be important and necessary. And again, that could be one of the topics within your case studies, setting the time frame to achieve my goal. That's a very important aspect of your goal, okay? So NeuroLotus, I think, would be an amazing ending session, okay? NeuroLotus, NeuroTree, because you're growing, again, setting the goal, right? Bottom is what I already have achieved so far. Middle is where am I now? And let's focus on the future. What are my steps? And draw the circles, right? What am I going to achieve? Join me again on Monday for an open NeuroTree session. And if you would like to learn this in depth, actually learn, I'm just telling you, I'm giving you theory, but if you want to practice, how do you use this within your professional practice? How do you learn all those beautiful, beautiful algorithms that you see here? Welcome to PM me, ask me. We are starting the specialist course next Wednesday. I suggest you hurry up and register because it's going to be a truly, truly amazing, amazing course full of lots of discovery. A, for yourself. You guys remember the 3 types of case studies we have? Self-coaching, yourself. Every time any transformation you start has to be internal first, right? Then warm clients, people who are ready to move, people who are ready to transform, people who meet you halfway. And then you can start working with cold clients, people who are not so ready yet, but they come your way, you meet them on the pathway of their life, they become interested, and you have the tools to show them the beauty, the importance of the neurographic method, and give them this beauty, open up this beautiful presentation for them. Okay, welcome to join the course. I am thanking you for today's session. I'm losing internet, it says, but seems like okay. Tomorrow we are meeting. I am going to, what did I say? I kind of went through it a little bit today, right? How do you match the topic with and the client to the algorithm? I want to talk more about it tomorrow. I'm going to answer an important question tomorrow. A lot of people ask me, case studies. Remember we started the case studies? We're going to finish it tomorrow. How many pictures do you need to draw to achieve a certain topic? We're going to discuss it. For some topics, 4 pictures may be enough. For some topics, it's more. What does it depend on? How do we differentiate? How do we understand when my case study, let's say you're doing it for yourself, so there is no preset sessions, right? How do I know that I have achieved the result in my case studies and all of that, okay? Yep, now my Instagram is losing. Thank you everybody for joining me. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Goodbye, enjoy the rest of your day. We're gonna do the laughter tomorrow, okay? Today, not so much time, I have to run.